Everybody's panicking. Nvidia is falling off an absolute cliff while smart investors are getting paid to buy Nvidia at better discounts and get paid upfront just for saying maybe. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can actually trade Nvidia for yourself the smarter way. What's up, premium chasers? I hope you're having a God blessed day. Today, every single person that comments down below is going to get our quad option strategy playbook, which shows you how you could set up an option selling portfolio for yourself and collect 4 different income streams that you didn't even know was possible. But today's video, guys, we're talking about Nvidia. So also, as I mentioned, drop a comment, like, subscribe, do all those things. I will respond back to you with that playbook. But guys, today, it's all about Nvidia. We saw a big decline on Nvidia last week. I said on Saturday, I can see that really bringing down the whole market. And I'm not a smart guy at all. I just kind of been doing this for a while. And what do you know? The whole market is down today. Really not hard to see that. Fear and greed index dropped down to 19. Our VIX, last time I checked this morning, it's still around 32, right? A lot of volatility now coming into the market, which, believe it or not, is like more volatility into the market. And Nvidia, of course, really is spearheading this. You could see down to $96, under $100 Nvidia, which again, we'll kind of talk about this and how to do the option trades on Nvidia here in a moment. But you could see we're trading now well below our bottom Bollinger Band. The setup is beautiful for selling some cash secured puts on. We did see a big support level here at 94. I believe that is going to be a big support level. So let's keep our eyes out on that. Me personally, I love Nvidia. I believe Nvidia long term. There was some news that came out over the weekend. Hawaii announced that to begin mass shipments of its advanced 9100C AI chip for Chinese customers next month. Obviously, with the whole tariff situation, Nvidia stands to potentially lose a lot of business, right? No ifs, ands, or buts, right? So we're going to see what comes of this. Obviously, who knows, right? This is a tug of war match with the tariff situations. We don't know what those impacts necessarily are going to be yet, but either way, I'm long Nvidia, and that's why I don't mind investing in Nvidia. Obviously, go do your own research and your own due diligence, but I want to show you guys how you can actually sell puts on Nvidia, get it at better prices, and get paid cash up front for saying maybe you would buy Nvidia. All right, so let me show you guys. Let's go over to our Robinhood app. Obviously, we are at $96 right now on Nvidia, down 5.5% today. The best time to sell cash secured puts, guys, is on red days when things are dropping heavily and everybody's scared. You can see our RSI here is 37. That means the stock is being heavily oversold right now. People are dumping it right now. That's when you have to have that emotional strength, that conviction, the same conviction you had in Nvidia 2 months ago when it was at all-time highs. Do you still have that same conviction now, right? So, right, Nvidia right here, 96. I'm going to go to the trade options section. We are not a silly options buyer. Of course we're not. We're going to click sell, and then we're clicking a put. Basically, this is a cash secured put, and this is just one of the income streams in the quad option strategy. If you want all 4, drop a comment. I'll send you the ebook with all of that stuff, and I'll personally respond to you with that. But basically, a cash secured put is saying that, hey, we are willing to buy 100 shares of Nvidia, right, at a price that we choose. Okay, so you need money in your account to actually do this, right, because it's 100 shares, and I'll show you guys all this in a second, right? On a specific date, you'd be willing to buy those shares. So this is the expiration date. I like to go 30 to 45 days out. Let's go take a look at this one that's 39 days out, which is right between our 30 to 45 days. And we could see our share prices that we'd be willing to buy those 100 shares. So we can, if we look at the 90s right here, you could go as low. I mean, you could go pretty low here, right? You can go as low as you want. You just might not get really any premium or filled. So you want a healthy balance here, okay? So I'm gonna kind of talk through a little bit different stuff here because I just released a video about Nvidia, but I want to show kind of like 2 more, like a conservative strategy and a more an aggressive strategy, just to, especially those of you guys that have tuned into a lot into the channel. I want to show you guys, I'll take it a little bit a step further, okay? So, for example, right, if I open up these 90s right here, you would see that I would collect $550 of premium upfront. That's income that I would collect from an options buyer. Hit the juice button, all right? So that would give us about, let's take a look at what our actual return would be. 550. Our collateral would be $9,000. 900 times, or 90 times 100, right, is 9,000. And we get about over a 6% return in a 30-day period. or a 39-day period, annualized about a 57% return. Obviously, guys, I'm assuming you know what selling puts is, or selling a cash secured put. This means that if Nvidia drops to 90, 80, 50, you're buying it at 90, right? So always trade on stocks you have a lot of conviction in, right? I can't stress that enough, right? So $90, you would have to buy, you'd get 100 shares if it drops to that on the expiration date, okay? It's even jumped up a little bit more to 554. So how do you pick? How do you pick? What if you're just in the middle? You're like, I do love Nvidia. I want to collect some juicy premiums, but like, I really want to not get a sign maybe. So I'm going to show you guys kind of best case, different scenarios. So if I open up these 90s and I go to this Greek section, this basically measures price movement by a dollar, but the easiest way to look at delta, guys, the Greek, is just look at it as a percentage point. I get into arguments with some of you. It's a very common practice to just use it as a percentage point. And it just makes it a lot easier. If you're an options buyer and stuff like that, there's more advanced strategies with some of the Greeks and stuff like that. Dude, I ain't smart enough for that. So please stop, right? So 34 delta is basically, there's a 34% chance that Nvidia will hit $90 and you will have to buy it at $90 in 39 days from now. That's the odds, right? The kind of the odds, right? But there's about a 70% chance that nothing happens. Your options contract expires worthless, your collateral gets freed up, and you just run that play again and collect more premium, right? This is called making your money work for you. You've probably never seen something like this before if you're tuning in for the first time. So welcome. Well, it is I truly believe that it is my job to get this message out there, because I believe getting in at a price at companies you like at deeper discount price and actually collecting real money, not paper gains. Look, paper gains is fine for your monthly buys, your retirement, all that stuff. But for me, and what we do here are option selling portfolios. There is one job, guys, and a lot of you don't realize this, especially that you guys coming in from TikTok with the TikTok brain. I am here to make money. I am here to make money, not just money, make income, actual extract money from the markets with the trades. That is the sole purpose of this. I don't care what if I sell, as long as I'm making money, I don't care, because there's opportunities everywhere. Again, I do recommend having a monthly buy portfolio for your retirement, and the majority of your money in that. But if you're selling options, your goal needs to be income. How do I create an income producing portfolio? Okay. And that's what quad option strategy is all about. So let's say those odds are, you're like, hey, you know what? I don't know. I like to be beyond the point $20, $30, but I'll just show you guys. Maybe this is your first time doing it and you're a little nervous. Totally understandable, right? So you can go down. We can go all the way down here. Let's look at the 70s, right? $70 or $70 strike price, right? It's a 0.08 delta. So an 8% chance that Nvidia hits $70. There's an 8% chance, right? So there's a 90% chance that nothing happens and your option expires worthless. But for that, you're only collecting $112, right? So let's go back to our calculator. All my calculators are free inside of our Facebook group. The link is in the description. Everything is free here on the channel, guys. Everything is free. The only thing, if you want to work one-on-one with me in our 1-year incubator, that's the only thing that's paid for, and that link will be in the description if you want more of a handheld and hands-on approach with me. With that said, our collateral here is 7,000, right? Because 70 times 100 is 7,000, and our return is a 1.6% in a month. Obviously, annualized, that's about a 15% return. More unlikely to happen. Is it impossible? Listen, I ain't somebody. Look, I'm not one of these teenagers out here telling you I know what the market does. I have no idea what the market does, right? Nobody does. Don't listen. Nobody knows. All right. So, but at $70, I can, if Nvidia drops to 70, I'm fine owning it, right? And it has obviously, you collect some premium there. You collect a free $100. Now, you can live like this. Your strategy is your strategy. I don't know you. I don't know if you're at retirement age and you maybe have 6 figures hanging out in your portfolio and you just want super safe stuff, right? Or you're somebody that likes to ride the roller coaster that is Nvidia, like so many of us do, right? You have to make those decisions for yourself, right? For me, I like 0.20, 0.30 deltas. It gives me a healthy balance of premium. Plus, you want to get assigned because that's the other side of the quad option strategy, getting assigned and then using your shares as collateral, selling them for a higher price and collecting more premium along the way, right? It's part of the game. But I did want to show you guys this, that you don't have to necessarily, right, stick to these more aggressive share prices. You don't, right? You can, let's look at the 80s even. Let's look at 80s, right? For the 80s right here, you can see we're at a 0.18 delta. So about, let's just say about a 20% chance of assignment. Right here, you collect, that's a juicy premium, 266. Let's take a look at what that looks like. 266, right? And that's now you're putting up your collateral as 8,000 to buy those shares. And you're getting about a 3.33% return in a month, or annualized 31%. Now that annualized number, obviously, guys, that you're not doing this trade 100% of the time. You could, and if you do it, it would be 9 times, right? Because you could essentially, if you let it go to expiration and you do this trade 9 times and you're very conservative on your delta, it could happen, right? Like Nvidia could totally not drop down to whatever options contract you did, and you'd get about a 31% return. But sometimes you will get assigned, right? Not I wouldn't say most of the time. Depends on what the delta is that you pick and how aggressive your strategy is. But for the most part, most options contracts, they expire worthless, or you're closing out your position early, right? So which leads me to another point, closing out your positions early, okay? This is totally up to you. My covered call sides on the quad options, I don't really close them out early because I want to sell, right? My goal is income. So I usually just let those go to expiration. For my cash secured puts, once I've captured about 80 to, depends, right? Sometimes Nvidia can move in a day like this and you can close out your position in a day. And if I can capture 50% of my premium in a day, I'm going to do it. Right? But most of the time, if I'm like just a week out to expiration, I'm already collected 80% of the premium or 90% of the premium, I'll just close it out, free up my collateral. But here's the thing about closing out early. Don't just close out early for the sake of closing out early. Close out early because you have an opportunity elsewhere. Okay? Can't stress it enough. Some of you guys close stuff out and then you have nothing to do with your money. Again, do what you want. It's your money. But I'm just saying, for me, I'm like, hey, if I see an opportunity elsewhere and I can close this out and capture 80% of my premium, I will do that, and then I will move that money somewhere else. The point of this portfolio, however much you allocate to it, is for the money to constantly be doing something. It cannot stay stagnant. Of course, having some money on the side is fine, but that shouldn't be like in your, like, have multiple accounts. Like have your 401k, your monthly buys, your Vanguard stuff, your SPYs and stuff. Like cool, like have that there. But then like you have to change your mindset with the option selling. The goal is income. The goal is simply income. That how do we make our money just rapidly be making us more money? Right now, it's not super rapid by any means. You're getting a 3-4% a month, but you're again, the goal is income. That is the sole purpose, okay? Because some of you will be like, well, Pete, like, what if I did a cover call and it shoots up back to 140? I don't care. Did I make money? I'm happy. I'm gonna sleep better at night because there's always it's the stock market, baby. This thing moves like crazy, like as we have seen, right? There's opportunities absolutely everywhere. So let's talk about one more thing. Let's talk about entry points and exit points and how to do it. I showed you a basic understanding of Greeks. For most of you, that's all you need, honestly. But if you kind of want to take it up a level, you do want to take a look at some technicals, okay? Right here, my technicals that I have my RSI on, which is telling me how overbought or oversold something is, right? If a bunch of people are dumping it, obviously it's going to drop that RSI. I have my Bollinger Bands, which is this very intimidating lines added onto here. And then I have my 200-day moving average, which I'm colorblind. It's this number 126, and then this 300-day moving average is, I guess, yellow green. I have no idea. Go make fun of me in the comments. I'm colorblind, your boy. All right, so we could see Nvidia is at 96 towards the bottom Bollinger Band, okay? And you could see for the most part, when we look over time, right, the hits top Bollinger Band, retracts, hits top, hits bottom, and retract. It's always kind of playing around in this. Now, it doesn't always happen, right? When we had that drop earlier in the month, this thing dropped down to 94, right? Over here, we dropped down to 120, right? So it helps us build a thesis. So a little bit of a quick rule of thumb. When we are trading at the bottom Bollinger Band, that is usually a good time for your cash secured puts. That's when the premiums are going to be the juiciest and you're going to be able to get those great strike prices, right? Like, for example, those 80s. We're collecting 3.33% on an 80 strike price on Nvidia. That's insanity, right? That to me, that's insanity, right? So, but guess what? If Nvidia was trading at like 110, it's at its middle Bollinger Band like it was last week, that 80 put would have been like you might have gotten like $50 for it, like if that, like so you gotta be patient in this game, but also weigh your own risk. Like if you really want to get into stock, there's no bad time to sell a put, I guess, and then with your covered calls, which we aren't really discussing right now, is when you're towards the top of the Bollinger Band. Guys, don't forget, drop a comment for your chance to get our quad option strategy ebook. Every single person that comments is going to get that, but make sure you also like and subscribe. Also, if you are somebody that's interested in a more 1 year long incubator with me personally, I have a very small group of people that I work with, and it is so fun. It is such a vibe to see you guys like collect your first premium and like do this whole thing for yourself, because I believe it is my mission to show this strategy to as many people as you can. So if you're interested in a more handheld approach with building out your option selling portfolio, take a look in the description, that very first links. Guys, remember, sell options, collect premiums, repeat. I will see y'all tomorrow.